Good morning.
Good morning,
We're here to front load some joy.
if you insist.
It is my calling, I believe. I don't know. So I just got done doing some movement. It wasn't strenuously awful, but it was movement and it was dishes, but it was movement. And when I'm intentionally in it, it's important. So consider that in your day when you're doing it, going around like what Sharon's doing right now. She's moving. Getting your glasses, is that what you're doing? Got it. Okay. So what I wanted to talk about today was a sort of an extension of the masterclass that I gave yesterday, which was that Patricia and I gave, which was on the body's whispers and what's going on with our stress. And one of the big things that came up that got a lot of traction was how much our external how much our bodies consider stress an external rather than an internal. And our systems completely are screwed up when they do that. So we have a brain that is recognizing a stress and it's coming out as physical and external rather than physical and internal. And the mechanism for coping with either of those is very different. It's completely opposite, as a matter of fact. When there's an external threat, our bodies literally shut down our prefrontal cortex. We're not supposed to think, we're supposed to act. It's a reactive thing. And that's why we watch ourselves go to the pantry, period. We can go back in time, if you will, and reflect back on the circumstances that put us in front of the pantry and watched ourselves eat this substance. And we can also then look at what internal machinations are going on inside of us. So, what I wanted to do today was this really interesting breathing. But I want to read to you a little bit of a blog post that I put together that kind of explains the science around it, what's important about this particular breathing. On my website, transformwithsonia.com, there's a blog. And I just posted two. This one is the one we're going to focus on today, which talks about the body's stress responses and how to lessen the stress eating cycle. This one talks specifically about the differences between the internal and the external. There's a lot of really good ones that I've put up here recently, but I think you guys can all recognize that. That's really hard to read, isn't it? Let me change that real quick. Would you like me to want to walk through the back door of editing? And there we go. Now, let's go look at it. It's much easier to read. See? Magic. Have you ever wondered why stress sends you straight to the kitchen? The connection between stress and food isn't just in your head. It's deeply rooted in your body's physiology. Understanding this connection can be the first step toward breaking free from stress eating patterns. The science of the stress response. When your stress hits, your body launches. I really like to understand. I just need you to hear me. I like to understand what's physiologically happening to me. It helps me ground, and it also, I'm certain, helps strengthen the connection between my amygdala and the prefrontal cortex, which is what we're trying to do to become more sentient, more aware. So when stress hits your body, it launches a complex cascade of biological responses. This isn't just about feeling anxious, overwhelmed. It's a full body experience that involves multiple systems working together. And this is the part that I want to really get in on. Understanding your nervous system, a tale of two systems. Think of your autonomic nervous system as having two key players that work like cars, gas, and brake pedals. The sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight, this is your body's gas pedal, controlled by the sympathetic chain ganglia, which you can massage here to calm, by the way, but be careful with that because there's also a few other things there that you don't want to mess with, but just gently massaging this area can really help relax you in that moment when you're feeling overstressed. activates when you're stressed, excited, or need energy. So it's not always bad. And as a matter of fact, this system can really help with your immunity. When you're feeling ill or downtrodden, you want to activate this. That's why cold water, sticking your face in an ice bath, or taking a cold shower can really help activate your immune system and help you combat illness. And that's because it releases adrenaline, which prepares you for action and also fights illness. So think sympathetic speed up. And the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest, this is your body's brake pedal. It's controlled primarily by the vagus nerve, running from the brain to the gut, but technically it's mostly running from the gut to the brain, actually, the direction. Activates when you're relaxed, digesting, or recovering. Promotes healing, digestion, and calm. So if you're in the sympathetic nervous system and your chain ganglia are activated, you can calm yourself by activating the vagus nerve. So they work together. So the vagus nerve think, or the parasympathetic think peace. The vagus nerve is particularly important for food-related behaviors because it communicates directly with your digestive system. So think about this in relation to your metabolism and also your gut. It helps regulate hunger and fullness signals, and it influences how you digest and process food. Got me? You get it? Really important. It can be activated through breathing exercises to reduce stress eating. There's a ton of them. I want to go through, and I don't know if we can do 20 minutes worth, but this is designed. I've talked before about your heart rate variability. Heart rate variability is the difference between your heartbeats. And when your heart rate variability is narrow, that's an indicator that you're in high stress or high anxiety or high emotions, outsized emotions. The point of breathing and different kinds of breathing, intentional breathing, is to expand that heart rate variability so that your body, your parasympathetic and your sympathetic, your entire nervous system recognizes you are calm, because you wouldn't be able to do that if you were being chased by a lion. So if you find yourself talking negatively to yourself, being an absolute brat about the stuff that's going on in your world, and being judgy. Let's see, judgy Janet, could we call her that? The attitude of this particular type of breathing is designed to calm you down. There's two kinds that I want to talk about today. One, Andrew Huberman calls deep breathing. And that's where you inhale quickly and then again, and then exhale slowly out through your mouth. So I want to try that a few times. We just need to do 2 or 3. And I want you to take a measure of where you are right now. Just take a quick scan and see, how am I? What am I doing right now? How am I feeling? And then let's do this. What we're going to do is inhale and then take another inhale and then exhale slowly. And I'm going to let you do it at your own pace. But what I want you to do when you exhale out is to exhale out as if you're exhaling out through a straw. It's a modification of the straw breathing that I've talked about before. So inhale and then inhale again. And what you're doing, just so you understand what's happening with your heart, is you're literally giving your heart more space. When you expand your lung capacity, you're lowering your diaphragm and increasing the area with which your heart has. So we're going to inhale again, and then exhale with straw breathing. Okay? Okay. Now take a measure of yourself. I feel more oxygenated for sure. I feel more relaxed here. My chest feels more open. I feel less tense. I never am quite sure how my front loading joy is going to come over for others. So I always like to see, I always get a little activated and a little excited or anxious, depending on your interpretation. They both come from the same place in the body. So my interpretation was a little anxious and a little excited, frankly. But what I wanted to talk about now is this other type of breathing that was introduced on Andrew Huberman's show. But I'm gonna show you this is kind of a fun visual, and we could literally do this for the next 17 minutes, but I'll probably stop it at 5. So I just want you to hear that we're going to do this. This is a great thing. It's easy on YouTube and it's a real easy visual. It's just literally inhaling for 5.5 seconds and exhaling for 5.5. You'll get the rhythm pretty quickly. So let me share my screen with sound. I'm going to bypass the explanation. You guys can listen to it if you want at some point. And I'll share the link with you guys. So you've got it. As you can see, this is about 17 minutes of breathing. That's what this is. So enjoy the visual.
Yes, thank you.
You can do this with your mouth or your nose or both, but maybe not at the same time. And you can have your eyes open or closed. There's more intention if you close your eyes. If you do this for just a few minutes, multiple times a week, you're going to automatically lower your baseline level of stress because your heart rate variability will increase. How does that feel? Did I send some people to sleep?
I woke up my inner teenager.
I woke up your teenager?
Yeah, she's like, well, you don't, I can sense her. She's like, what's this? Beep, beep, beep. I've been breathing since I was born. Beep. I don't need somebody to beep. You gotta breathe. Beep, beep.
That's awesome shit.
So I'm like, okay, I got it. How about we do 5 breaths and then we just chill? She's like, okay, I'll do 5 breaths.
That's awesome. I love it.
My inner teenager has a potty mouth. We were raised very religious, so we weren't allowed to have a potty mouth. She has a really big potty mouth.
That's really, really cathartic. I'll
Yeah.
bet.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I know. There's a part of resonance that is all about swearing.
oh,
There's a catharsis around it. And I think it's probably societal pressure, just like what you were saying, good girls don't swear. There's a line there, and I understand it. And it can make some people really uncomfortable. And it's obvious that it's helpful in at least a bizarre way for you to have your
Oh
team.
yeah, no, I love to swear, but certain words aren't, just audience. Yeah.
I feel really relaxed, but it felt really fast to me, like compared to like straw breathing. Like I had to like really speed it up.
Yes, that's what we just did is 6 to 7 breaths, I think, a minute. It's no, it's got to be more than that. No, six breaths a minute. It's 5.5 seconds for each end of the breathing. So it's 11 seconds for each breath. Yes, it is. I do like 2.5 to 3 with my straw breathing in a minute. And this is designed to do something different than the straw breathing. The straw breathing will activate immediately and calm you and center you. This is designed to improve your heart rate variability over time. And that's the point of this, is to have the ease and the calm and the centering and the rhythmic and the consistency of it. And that's why for your sweet teenager, that's why we need the bong. We need to use that device.
Did you call it a bong?
I know.
She liked that idea.
Like that. It's so great. I love your teenager. Can she come and play with? I have a Pippi Longstocking. I think they would get along quite well.
Oh yeah.
So the heart rate variability, calming, centering over time is the point of it. And so you need to use this thing. You can either set this is a free one on YouTube. And as you saw, it could be annoying, but it's the noise that I don't need to have my eyes open and watch the inhale and the exhale business. But that's the point of this, is to create a longevity for your system, to create a lower level of stress to start your world, to start your day. My Aura Ring measures my heart rate variability overnight, and it's fascinating to me. One of the reasons I stopped eating anything after 5 p.m. period, because I'm in bed by 8, but I prefer to stop eating by 2:30 or 3. That's my preference, because my heart rate variability is greatly impacted overnight by how close to bedtime I eat. Not to try to stress y'all out. You do you, but that's one of the things that I've noticed is that change.
And how does heart rate variability affect us?
So there are several things about the heart that are important to know. First of all, the vagus nerve on the right side only comes down to the heart and wraps around the heart and is helpful in keeping the heart from going too fast. So if we are exercising, or more importantly, if we're running from a lion, a tiger, or a bear, our heart rate is going to keep going up but the vagus nerve puts a brake on it. Okay. And in the process of high stress situations, the vagus nerve puts a brake on it and doesn't allow it to vary much. The variability, it should have glorious variability for the day-to-day stuff. Think about when you're laughing or having a good time with someone, your heart rate variability is probably pretty high, because the difference between when you're taking an inhale in, which raises your heart rate, so you're inhaling quickly because you just laughed hysterically, right? And then you exhale out because the laughter is, you know what I'm talking about. The exhale out lowers the heart rate variability. So lowers the heart rate. So then you have this wide variation. And the body and the brain recognize when we're having a good time. You don't always have to be like we weren't, well, maybe Sharon's teenager was having a good time, but most of us were sitting there and relaxing, right? You don't have to be in joviality to have a wide heart rate variability. But the point of it is, if your heart rate is varied, that means it's healthy. And it also means that you're in a calm, centered, grounded space. Because the heart rate will vary greatly if it's calm and the vagus nerve isn't reactive. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's important and it's good stuff, Maynard. So, anybody have any other questions or anything? I'm going to suggest that you go read my 2 blogs that I just put up. They're 2 different aspects of it. I also want to make sure, if you haven't watched or attended yesterday's masterclass, I am hearing so many good things about it. Oh my gosh. So many good things. So many good things. Right, Tommy?
The word on the street. You should hear it. Word on the street. Good stuff. Don't want to
Yeah.
be missing out. Don't want to be missing out on it.
It's very interactive. And I've already posted it live on my YouTube channel, and it's also been put out in a lot of different places. Anyway, I'm going to continue to post it, so you'll find the link, but I'm also going to put the link at the bottom of this when I put this up on YouTube, so you can have that. But if you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see it. It's right out there at the front. It talks about this very similar thing about external versus internal, and how we can become aware. The more that we can recognize that what we're saying to ourselves is causing external threat that's not real, and the conflicts and the issues that we have with our loved ones, the concern that we have for the planet, whatever it is, all of those things impact whether or not we're going to look at this thing healthfully. Our bodies it's important to be in stress for certain situations, but we do not want to live there. And we do not want our bodies physically in stress, worried about being chased by a lion because we just berated ourselves about what we ate. That won't help us. So that's the point of this. So just a few minutes every day of this breathing, as often as you can, with the bong. All right, everyone. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Don't forget how important front-loading joy is, eh? Bye-bye.